Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and I'm so excited. I come to you for the first video of this week, after vlog day, of course. I come to you on this fabulous Tuesday in like a nice cozy gray sweater, living my best hair psychotic life. Like, we're just living, and I'm so excited. And you'll also notice our special guest. Let me get it for you so you can get a closer look. You guys, these are my birthday flowers. Aren't they so cute? So for those of you that do not know or you didn't watch last Friday's video, Friday was my 29th birthday, and thank you guys so much for being so amazing and so fabulous in that video, or in the comments of that video rather. You guys made my whole day. Like, all day long I was getting notifications that like, happy birthday Paige, oh my god, happy birthday, and I was just like, like, all of a sudden everybody loves me and I love it so much. You guys made me feel so freaking special. You were on the comments of that video, you were on Instagram, like, you guys just made me feel so incredibly happy. And these are flowers that were sent to me to the office, and I just, oh my god, like, you guys, there's nothing in life like, okay, candles, sweaters, like old lady things, cats maybe, and flowers. Like, fresh cut flowers are like my, oh my god, I love fresh cut flowers so much. When and if I ever get old and I have like that extra, like, I can spend that extra $10 at the store kind of money, you know what I'm talking about? When I grow up and I have that kind of money, grow up, I'm 29 years old, sweet Jesus. But I want to have fresh cut flowers in my house. And they're so frivolous, but they're probably one of my most favorite, like, frivolous things because they smell so good. And to me, a bouquet of just like fresh cut flowers, it is so inviting. But anyways, yes, so I love my fresh cut flowers. I said to show them to you guys. They will be hanging out right back here, being cute, because that's what fresh cut flowers do. And we're just gonna not talk about them. We're just gonna look at them and love our lives, because I love fresh cut flowers. So anyways, okay. Thank you guys for being amazing. Now let's jump into today's video. I'm so excited for this because I'm really in this stage. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like, I don't know if it shows, because I think it's showing. I'm in this stage of like cozy, happy, warm, happy things in life. And I have been loving and obsessed with like really calm eye looks, but with lots of like really beautiful colors, but like lighter variations of those colors. So I just haven't been really into like super dark, intense, bold looks. I've done a couple because that really fits like the palettes. I did the Anastasia Safari palette. I can link that up here. That was a beautiful, bold, intense look. Probably the most recent one that I have done. But for today's video, you guys already saw the title. We're going to be talking about the Sultry palette from ABH, or Anastasia, Beverly Hills. The packaging on this, you'll see both the unicarton and the actual palette itself. They do have like that glitter finish on them. And if you are the type of person that you don't like a mess, you just don't like mayhem, this is not the packaging for you. There's a big difference between this type of packaging and like the who was that? Was it Laura Lee's palette? One of her palettes had like this glitter effect to it. The only difference is that that palette, I want to say it was the Laura Lee Los Angeles palette, but it was sealed glitter, meaning there was all this beautiful glitter, but they put a top coat over it, or like a glazed finish, so that all of this glitter didn't like flake off. And for me, this glitter has literally flaked everywhere. It's been on my face, on my arms, everywhere. Now, once you get past all the glitter, you open it up, and it is just the standard ABH packaging that we have come to know and love from them, or some of us know and love it. I love it just because they're all uniform. Makes me feel good. But you open it up, you get the same normal size mirror, 2 rows of 7 pans a piece at what seems to be the normal size of the shadows. We will talk about that here in a second. We're also getting into the swatches and all of that while I'm doing my eyes. But I want to talk to you guys about this moment that I had. So I'm looking at the palette, and one of the first things I look at whenever I'm looking at a palette is the size of the shadows, because I feel like it reflects a lot on the brand and a lot on maybe the formulation. Something has changed. Like, to me, when the size of a shadow changes and everything is so standard to like this type of a palette, it tells me, it's trying to tell me something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a disturbance in the force. So when I opened it up and all of these were like the normal sizes, I'm like, okay. I look at the size of the pans, 0.029, and I'm like, that's either way smaller or a little bigger than what I'm used to with ABH, because I've had this discussion before. So I went and I pulled all of my other ABH palettes. Yeah, I know, it's quite a collection. Hello, hi. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about this for just 1 second. All of these from Modern Renaissance, Subculture, Prism, Soft Glam, and Norvina, these all have 0.02 ounces per pan. And today's, the Sultry palette is coming in with 0.029, which is 0.001 God, that's a lot. It's almost 50% more product than you get in these pans. So whether or not that's good, I'm not sure. I want to play with this and see if it's like maybe you need a little bit more pigment to build these colors up. So maybe they gave you a little extra. I'm not sure, but it is a little bit more product than what you are used to getting in all of these palettes. Now, just as like a first kind of feel comparison, if I had to pick which packaging my preference would be, I like these velvet ones. I like velvet. Like, I just like the feel of it. But more than that, I love that these are no mess. They're very easy to like pick out and find, and they're very uniform. And then you throw in this Sultry one, it just, because it doesn't have that laminated feel over it, it doesn't feel as luxe. It doesn't feel quite as sophisticated as all of these do, but that's okay. I mean, at least it's like the same size and everything, so it all still fits together. The one thing, regardless of texture, that I really love about ABH shadows, just from like a side perspective, I guess, if you have a lot of makeup, it's very easy to pick out which one is which. I'm a big fan of having like the label on the binder portion, because then like you can pick it up out of your drawer. If they're stacked like this, you don't have to filter. But the difference between like ABH, who uses all the same type of carton, and like Morphe or all these other brands, is that theirs are different colors. So you'd be able to look at these, and if you are like a makeup lover, which obviously you are if you bought any of these palettes, you're gonna go, oh, okay, I know this is Modern Renaissance. Oh, that's Norvina, that's Soft Glam, that's Prism, that's Subculture. Like, you're gonna be able to look at just the binding, just the color, and you're going to know what you're getting. So it's kind of like a level of sleek and sophistication that I love the look and aesthetic. So, you know, just like a positive, a negative, a positive, a negative kind of thing. Those are just my thoughts. So let's go ahead and jump into this palette, and let's see what she has to offer us today, because girl, we've talked about a lot of boring shit. This is $45. I'm so excited. I'm excited. I had my glasses on that whole time. I'm sorry. I normally take those off for the filming portion. I apologize for all the glaring reflectiveness. No. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this. Like I said, it is $45. It is 14 shades. I will go ahead and I'm going to throw some swatches up here. So in the first row, we have Fresh, Pearl, Steampunk, Rose Quartz, Ember, Bloom, and Birch. And in the second row, we have Cinder, Twig, Teak, Dystopian, Cyborg, Slate, and Noir. Now, per ABH Fashion, these are not all 100% new to this palette. There are ones that have been duplicated in other palettes. Noir, I know I've seen, and Cinder, and stuff like that. Other ones might have a different name, but the color is very similar. So it's not like, oh, it's so easily dupable. But you guys, what I noticed about this palette, just in swatching them, holy hell, are these reflective. Like, whew, these remind me, like, the quality of the ABH. This is taking me back to when they first came out with Modern Renaissance. We all tried it, and we were all just like, holy shit, like, you can't see this, but I just, like, grabbed the walls. Like, when we all first played with Modern Renaissance, it was, like, a moment that we will never forget. It was just, like, a spiritual enlightenment, if you will, you know what I'm talking about? And that was how I remember feeling about that palette. And when they came out with Norvina, I was like, holy hell, like, this is amazing. The quality is ridiculous. Like, I love this palette. This is giving me like such amplified, amazing feelings, okay? I just really, overall, swatching these, they applied beautifully to my arm. A couple of them were a little bit more flaky. They had a little bit more texture, a little fallout in swatch, but we're gonna go ahead, apply some of them to our eyes, and we're just gonna have a good time today, because you know, this girl is all about having that nice time. So let's go ahead. I do wanna dive in real quick to the description of this, just real fast on their website, and then we will jump into the eye look. It says here that ABH, there's this shadow, blah, blah, blah. It is an essential smoky eyeshadow palette that features 14 shades ranging from golden mattes to bronzy metallics. Create an endless array of holiday looks with this collection of cool tone shadows, including 2 cult favorite shades and 12 all new shades. See, I told you there were some duplicates in there. The full pigment, easy to blend formula, 14 shades including ultra mattes and metallics. The ultra matte shades have a velvety, creamy, soft texture, blend seamlessly, and deposit a lot of pigment and payoff. The metallic shades have an ultra creamy texture, deliver a long-lasting effect, and are ideal for creating amazing smoky eye looks that feature a wide range of cool tone shades, create a variety of looks, luck packaging with mirror and a double-ended brush. Okay, so basically what they did with this palette, you guys, is they said, I don't want just mattes and shimmers. Oh no, I want ultra mattes and ultra metallic. So we took it there. We want like all the velvety smoothness of a matte with all kinds of crazy pigment, but we also want our shimmers to not just be shimmers. We want them to be metallic and reflective and beautiful and sexy. And so this palette is really taking it all the way to the extreme stream on both sides, and I'm so excited to see what that looks like from ABH. So let's go ahead and we're just going to start going in. Of course, you do get their double-ended brush. I do have a use for these. They're not like, oh my god, I live and die for these brushes, but they are pretty good. I'll probably use, ooh, actually that one's not so bad. That feels nice and soft. Okay, the little stubby end doesn't feel quite so bad. Let's go ahead and go in with the fluffier side of their dual-ended brush, and I'm thinking I want to, where's my mirror? Damn it, I already had the mirror set out, so I wouldn't say that. Now I am going to start off by going in with the shade Bloom, which is the really nice, like, pale matte shade right up here. This shade swatched so beautifully. I was like, okay, here's my thing. I was expecting these to be like a little chalky, maybe a little dry in swatch. I don't know why, it's just kind of what I've come to expect from mattes. Like, they don't always swatch that great, but that Bloom shade swatched life-changingly fantastic. So did Birch, which is right next door. The only one I did not love in swatch was the shade Dystopian. That is the only one that when I went in and I did a couple swipes with my finger and I applied it to my arm, it was very like chalky at first and it was a little patchy, but then I went in with a little bit more and it blended out and it looked fine. Like, that is the only one that was even remotely bad, and it was my very first swatch and pan, and sometimes there can be like a weird film or something. So I'm excited. I'm not holding anything against any of these shades because I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and take this fluffy brush here and we're going to go in with Bloom, and I'm excited to just start working this onto my eyeball. Oh, and I did already, by the, holy crap. Okay, that is a light pink, but like the pigment is so gorgeous. I can't use this brush. I'm sorry. Please go away. I'm sorry, you guys. BRB, I gotta find a good brush because that was awful. It felt like I was squeegeeing hay onto my effing eyelid. No, thank you. Okay, I'm back. This is the Morphe Y17, I think, because it's like kind of wore off, but just a nice, relatively tapered, fluffy brush. Anything that we can use to really work that pink all the way through the lid, and I am going to be taking it lightly over into this area as well. What was I saying, you guys? Oh, this pink shade. Holy crap. Like, look at how beautiful that was. That was one dunk in there. And it looks so, like, oh my god, that color. Hello, hi. This is gorgeous. I love you. You love me. We're best friends as friends should be. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love my pink eyelids too? Oh, that's what I was talking about before I was rudely interrupted by how awful that double-ended brush was. I was about ready to tell you guys. I have already primed and prepped my eyelids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden, and then I just went ahead and I set it down with my Maybelline Fit Me Translucent Powder in 05 Fair. It is pretty much how I do my eyes as like a standard for any makeup review, just because I like to make sure everybody has the same base. I am honestly obsessed with this pink shade. It was not patchy. It blended perfectly. Like, what? Okay, I'm sorry. Who are you? You're not my real mom. I'm going to go in with the shade Fresh, which is this guy right up here on the end. And we're just going to use that and we're going to blend out this entire upper pink area. We're taking it on the same brush because I want a little bit of that leftover pinky kind of color to help transition everything out. I'm going to take a little bit more of that pink shade Bloom, and I do want to have a little bit, like a tiny bit more of that pink color. You can see, because I have very hooded eyes, how there's little to no pink coming up right through here. When I'm like obviously looking down or whatever, you can see more, but when you have very hooded eyes, you'll find that you constantly have to, like, what's the word? You're going to constantly have to recheck your eye looks as you're doing them. Like, okay, from this angle it looks good, right here it looks good, when I'm like this it looks good, but when I just relax my face I still want it to look good, and hooded eyelids don't always account for that. So sometimes I'll just take and very lightly look straight on, relax my eye, and then apply some color. It'll look a little intense, but then you blend it out, and that way you still get that very nice light pop of pink up there, or obviously whatever color you're working with, but it's just always important to keep kind of double checking. So next up, I'm going to grab the shade Dystopian, which is the like deepest matte brown in this palette right here. You guys know, because I obviously said that it kind of swatched a little bit odd at first, so I definitely want to play with that shade a little bit. I'm taking this on the Lamora tapered blending brush. It's not my favorite, but it has a very nice, like, smaller actual bristled but still fluffy, and I want to take that sentence made no sense. It has a smaller tapered but still fluffy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I want to take that and I'm going to start working it lower into the crease. Now I'm going in with a very light amount of this, and I'm going to keep it nice and low inside the crease, because I want to see how it blends into that pink shade, but I want to make sure it's not going to be muddy, that they're going to work together, that whole situation. So I'm just lightly going in and taking this brush and kind of feathering it onto the outer portion. And as long as I like it, which actually I do like that, okay, we're going to go in and blend it out with that same Y17 brush, just more or less to work it through. I told you guys I'm not wanting to have like this crazy deep look, so I really don't want this color to get away from me. I just want to focus on keeping it nice and packed where I want it, which I like that. And actually, I like the way this is working with this brush. I'm still going to just go in with the Y17, and I'm going to add a little bit more. Truth be told, you guys, the Y17 has such a great shape for my eye because it's so hooded that it has like the fluff I need to get into the hooded portion of my eye up through here, but it has a slight like pointed taper that I can really use when I want to get into the crease portion as well. Like, it just works so well for me. So if you see me using it a lot, that's why. It works naturally very well with my eye shape. And I am being very careful. I don't want to pull that over too far into the corner. I want to keep it on the outside because I think I want to go in with a really nice like pop of color on the inside portion of the eye, like right through here. I haven't quite decided, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. God, that is like blending perfectly, and it's creating the perfect like pinky toned. Like on the outer V right there, that pinky tone brown. Oh God, that's gorgeous. So to transition a little bit between that nice dark brown and that pinky color, which I'm loving it, I want to blend it out just a little bit more with the shade Birch right here. A very nice light brown transition shade, and I'm hoping it's not so brown that it won't like overtake that pinky color right here. So I'm just going to take, and I'm very lightly, again, same Y17 brush, and I'm just lightly using it to help fuse all of those colors together, create a really nice gradient before we move on to the inner portion of the eye, which actually, yet again, still looks beautiful. I'm loving that these colors are very like holding their own. They're not all getting muddied together. You can see each individual color, how they're working together. I'm really liking this. For this inner portion area right here, I want to go in with the shade Rose Quartz, which I absolutely love that shade, but I'm really also attracted, like obnoxiously attracted to the shade Cyborg, which is like a silver color. So what I think I want to try to do is I want to go in with the shade Rose Quartz first, see what that looks like, and then I'm going to kind of judge from there because I think I could make both of them work. So maybe I could like fade one into the other, I'm not sure. But first thing I am doing is going in with the Too Faced glitter glue right here. I take just a tiny bit of it on my finger, and I like to apply it with my finger because it works really well for me. And right now I have no nails, so it's very easy to work with. And I just lightly pat it. You don't want to like drag your glitter glue because you could remove everything like the base and all the colors underneath of it. So I like to just pat it. And then I am going to try this with a brush because sometimes I like to switch it up. So this is the Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. I'm going to go into Rose Quartz and pick it up on here, and then we're going to kind of, oh my God in heaven, is that beautiful. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, hello, how are you today? Do you want to be my friend? Because I think you should be my friend. Wow. Oh my God, I love this color. Oh my God, I do want to grab, actually I want to grab a little on my finger just to see if it's more, oh, it's way more intense with your finger. Whew. Okay, well, how are you today? So I'm going to grab this Tarte Fluffy brush, very similar to the E17 that I was using, or the Y17, but I set it down somewhere and like, I don't know where it went. So I'm going to grab this. There's nothing on it. I just want to take it and run it through the crease and diffuse that a little bit. I don't want this to be a harsh eye look. I want it to just be very nice and blended. So I'm going to take that shimmer shade, kind of blend it up into the crease a little bit. When it comes to looks like this that are a lot softer, I actually really love the look of a little bit of that like shimmer shade kind of fluffing its way up into the crease. I feel like it's a really nice like diffused moment, and I live for that kind of a situation. So we're just lightly going to fluff that in there. I did get a little bit of glitter fallout on my cheeks, not too much, and it's probably honestly because I went in with a brush, which I never do. But as far as the mattes, I have had no issues. Now, that looked really pretty. As soon as I went in with the brush, it kind of took away the intensity a little bit. So I do want to grab a little bit of that shade Cyborg on my finger, and I want to try just like patting it on top. Holy crap. Okay, literally Cyborg, because it's like the Tin Man, and that's so pretty. Oh my God, these two colors together are making my life complete. I can't live my life. This is like, what? Oh my God, I love this. BRB, I have to like admire myself for the next 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I have a date with myself. Thanks. So what I just did right there, I don't ever talk about this on camera, so maybe this is a good time to throw it in there. This is a technique that I use. It doesn't really have like a name. It's just a light layering technique. When you're really going for like a beautiful, kind of sophisticated shine, you don't want it to be super overpowering. You don't want it to look like, okay, this is the shade Cyborg. Like that by itself is a very intense metallic-y looking shine, right? Like it's meant to be over the top. It's meant to be holy wow. And I'd already put down the shade Rose Quartz, and what I wanted to do was create a really, like I said, like a sultry is the name of the palette. I wanted to create like a very nice, mature looking shine that wasn't too much, that wasn't over the top, that wasn't like glitzy and glammy, but I wanted to also fuse both of those like metallic shades together and get a beautiful shine that would transcend and not look so like, you know, like I'm trying to be super glitzy and glammy. So anyways, going in, layering them up very softly with your fingers. And like I just showed you when I swatched it on my hand, when you go in and you apply a lot and you really pack it on with your finger or with a brush or whatever you're using, it creates a very packed down, intense version. That's why we apply it. That's why I love to apply shades with my finger, because you get that effect. But when you go in and like I didn't put down any additional glitter glue, and I very lightly kind of pressed it in like very, very lightly, and I kept doing a lot of this motion, and all that is me very lightly spreading that color out with my finger, and it really makes it so you can disperse the color, you can feel it under your fingers, and it just helps you diffuse the color to where it's an appropriate amount of shine so that you don't get that overdone look, but you still get a really beautiful sultry shine from both colors. And applying the shade Cyborg toward the inner really helped open up my eye a lot, which I love. So far this is actually going absolutely stunningly. I am going to grab that same fluffy tart brush, and I'm going to grab, I think, a little bit of the shade Bloom, and we're going to work that into the crease a little bit just to help blend this whole section together, because I want to make sure that, again, those shimmers are nice and blended going into and down into the crease. I don't care if it removes a little bit of the shimmer in this area, because I just want it to look nice and blended, and that's mainly what I'm in this for. Like, I honestly don't think camera is doing this justice. It looks so beautiful. Like, holy crap, I'm so impressed. Okay, I want to grab, you know what, let's go with this same fluffy brush that we just used through the crease, and I want to grab that shade Dystopian, the dark matte brown, and I want to work that onto the outer V. I just want to deepen up this area a little bit, just to keep everything good and sultry, because at the end of it, I still do want it to be a lighter, smokier eye. I'm just going to take this, kind of run it up into the outer V a little. That's such a beautiful shade. Like, I'm so impressed with how nicely the mattes in this palette blend with the shimmers. Like, everything, oh God, everything is blending so gorgeously. Now on this Furless, this is the Pro 2E brush. It's kind of a nice flat, almost looks like a packer brush, but I'm going to take the shade Birch, which is that light brown, and I'm going to take it and run it in between that shimmer and that dark brown. I just want to work on kind of blending this up and through this whole area. It's okay if it moves around a little bit of the shimmer. We can always go back in and add more, but of course we just have to always remember to get that blend, girl, and we love a good blend. Now see, I love the way that this looks when my eye is shut. The only thing I'm not loving is when my eye is open and relaxed. I don't love the shadow that I'm getting right here. I want it a little bit deeper. So one more time, I'm going to go in with the shade Dystopian on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to work it up into this area. Just be a little bit more gutsy with it this time. Work it on up in there. Oh wow, that helped a lot. See how it's just like a lot nicer, like a lot more smoky? I think I want to add a little bit more of that pink, the Bloom shade. Now that we have taken this darker shade and brought it up, I need to take the pink shade and bring it up just a little bit. That's just kind of elevating all the colors so that the color story on my lid still makes sense. And a lot of this too is just like what's aesthetically pleasing to me. You might be looking at it and being like, Paige, what the hell are you doing? Stop, you know? But it's all what you find is appealing on your eyelid and on your eye shape. I personally really love how this is freaking looking, because I'm kind of living my best life for it. I want to see though, does that shade Pearl, like it's so light and beautiful, would that work as like a brow bone highlight for me? Because I have to know, is that too dark or is it going to be, oh my God, wait a second. Am I in love? Because I might be. Okay, hold on. Get the chapel ready. I might want to marry it. Okay. So I just threw that on there with like a flat paddle brush. This is the Vasanti eyeshadow brush, but it doesn't say which one. It's just a flat packer brush, you guys. Nothing special. And that kind of is absolutely stunning. Like literally the perfect color for my skin tone. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm going to run off of camera real quick. I'm going to finish up the rest of my face. I am going to make this look like the beauty that it is because seriously, it's stunning. And I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I'm ready to talk about the Sultry palette, what I think, and I kind of have some more insight and thoughts for you. So first thing I'm going to say is that be ready later in the week because there is a video coming and there was a slight foundation situation that happened. So it's been a while. Like I've been off camera for a few hours, but I'm ready. I'm here, but stay tuned for later in the week because that video is going to be, that's going to be a good one. So let's talk about this Sultry palette. Now I do want to throw out there real quick that I did also pick up some of the glitter pigments that they also released with this collection. I think I picked up 3 or 4 of them maybe. Obviously they're not in this video. I'm going to use those and I'll tell you what I think of them, but just so you guys know, I did pick up a couple colors. I want to play with them. I want to get a feel for them, see what I think. So I did that. What else did I want to remember? I was like, oh, I have a thought. But I don't know what it was. Oh well, we'll get there eventually. So I did go ahead, finish up my look right here. I threw on some demi wispies and I also did a little tiny like wing off the side. And I kind of got carried away a little bit when I was off of camera because I say this in every video, but anytime I test a palette, I do one eye on camera and then when I go off of camera and I do the other eye, which is usually this eye, I do it a little differently or I experiment with a different technique, a different brush, basically just to see if I can get a different result or if I can screw it up if it was good on this side or, you know, like maybe something else doesn't work when that made this one work better or vice versa. And with today and with this palette, I really wanted to see, could I deepen it up? Could I take this from like a daytime to a nighttime kind of smoky? Because the last time I saw you guys, it was really like a nice lighter daytime smoky eye. And so I wanted to play around with the texture and with the color a little bit. And then as I'm doing it, I realized, hey, idiot, whatever you do to this eye, you have to do to this eye. So it kind of amped up that look a little bit. But all I did was add just a tiny bit more of that dark brown shade to the outer portion of my eye. And it really helped elevate that eye and elevate the look I was going for, because I feel like anytime you're going toward that transitional period, you want to make sure that you're focusing on like those darker hues. That's what really is going to help make your eyes pop, and it's just going to help your overall eye look stand out. So for me, I wanted to see like what can I add, how can I zhuzh this up to make it more like go out friendly. So honestly, all I did, I added a little bit of that darker color to the outer V. I threw on a tiny wing. You don't even have to do a wing, just like felt tip liner is fine. And then I threw on demi wispies, and I chose demi wispies. They're like my favorite. I love Lily Lashes Miami. I love bigger, more like voluminous lashes. I think they're beautiful. But as far as like if you were to say, Paige, pick one pair of lashes to wear every day for the rest of your life, I'd probably pick Ardell Demis. They are so nice to wear. They go on so easily. The band is so easily manipulated. It's just, I love Ardell Demi Wispies, and I think they're really flattering on my eye shape. They're not too much. They don't take away from the eye look. They don't take away from my eye shape. They don't do anything other than emphasize, which I think is cool. So anyways, I put those on. And then I did go in with a couple colors on my lower lash line. I took the color Bloom, which is that light pinky shade, and I ran that up close to the lower lash line. I blended it out with the shade Fresh, which is that nice all over kind of nude shade on my skin tone. And then up near the lower lash line, right up against the lashes, I took the shade Dystopian, and I really smudged that in between the lashes. And then I blended that out with the shade Birch, and then a little bit of the shade Bloom, just to really blend everything together and smoke it out. And then I went in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Hustle, and then I just went ahead and I threw on, you know, the lashes and all that good stuff. And I really wanted to focus again on, excuse me, stop. I wanted to focus on how I could make this like more versatile and more well-rounded, as well as see, can this go from day to night? What is this palette really about? Because what struck me about this, and you guys know if you're new to my channel, one of my favorite things to do with a palette and a brand is I like to take, what did you say in the description of this palette? How are you trying to sell me this palette, and then does that work? And one of the ways that they were trying to sell this on their website and in their description was that this is the ultimate holiday party kind of palette. It'll be able to take you to a party. You can do this, which when I hear that, I think day to night. I think office party, and I think we're going out for drinks afterwards. I think I want a palette that will do everything, and if I'm honest, I really find that this palette is great for that. It has one really beautiful pop of color right here that I think lends very, very nicely to every shade in this palette. It is a great all over kind of, you can smoke it here, you can have it go here, you could pack it on all over the lid, and I think it has a beautiful amount of opacity and brightness to it. I think that this palette would work beautiful on multiple skin tones, which is so nice and very refreshing to see, might I add. And my favorite thing about this, and this is the part I struggled with at first, going into it, when I was reading the description, I was like, okay, I'm all for ultra matte, like ultra velvety mattes. They're going to blend out. They're supposed to be luxurious, blah, blah, blah. I think that's going to be great. But I was really having a difficult time with the idea of an ultra metallic palette where there are no regular shimmers. There's no standard in here. It's just ultra metallic, because that could mean that you don't have that middle ground, meaning sometimes you just want a shimmer, you want a light shimmer, you want that light, almost frost of a shimmer, instead of a bam, holy hell, in your face kind of metallic, which is what these are. And so for me, I was a little hesitant in that area, because you took away that middle ground. You gave me all the way over here and all the way over here without giving me that middle area. And so that made me nervous. But then as I applied these to the eye, that's why I was so dead set on seeing, can I dim these down? Can I make these a little more demure? And they worked in both ways. I actually, on this lid, I had them built up and then I sheared them down because I wanted my eyes to match. But I was able to build these up very quickly to full intensity. They looked super beautiful and opaque. And then on the other side, like you guys saw on camera, I really wanted to see if I could work that lighter, more demure angle, which I could. So as far as me and this palette, I have no issues with it. As far as do I think you need it? Let me put it this way. The colors are not super unique. I don't think that they're like, oh my God, super ingenuitive. I love the shade Bloom. You guys know how much I love that shade. I used it literally every time I could. I think it is so beautiful. I'm not a big fan of the double-ended brush, just gonna get that out of the way. But as far as the colors in here, like I said, not super unique, but how reflective and how beautiful they are, I think is stunning. And I do think that for a holiday palette, this is a great neutral palette. Now, I do want to take real quick here, and I want to compare this to the Soft Glam palette, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be wondering, how does this compare to Soft Glam? So real quick, we have Soft Glam and then obviously the Sultry palette, which we are looking at today. They both have the shade Noir. They both have some, you know, more subtle blendable colors. They both have some shimmers. They both have some sparkle. At the end of it, do I think if you already have Soft Glam, you need the Sultry palette? Honestly, I mean, not really. It has a couple pops of color that are not in the other, but for me, the reason that I would buy the Sultry palette, like, has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with those metallics. They are so beautiful. Again, if you have a large collection, you probably have colors that are very similar, but for an ABH palette, I think they're beautiful. They are stunning. And I honestly, yet again, a great travel palette. If there is one thing that ABH, in my opinion, has mastered, it is an all-encompassing good travel palette. They continue to come out with palettes just like the Norvina palette, the Soft Glam palette, Sultry palette, the Modern Renaissance palette, literally everything but Subculture and Prism. I wouldn't travel with those, but the other ones, they travel so perfectly. Like, I cannot put into words how beautiful an ABH palette is. If you're like on the go, if you're going out, you're like, hey, I have a business meeting to go to, I'm only going to take this one palette and like a mascara, you'd still be good. Because even in these palettes, you get the shade Noir. You could stamp that along your lash line for your liner, for a faux soft liner. Like, there's just so much you can do with an ABH palette that in general, I think they're so good and so well rounded. And this palette is no exception. I really like it. I loved how versatile those shades were. And again, if you're like me, you're reading the description and you're like a little unsure if that ultra metallic will work for you, it's beautiful. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I will say is make sure if you do foundation first to have some bake down, because these are ultra metallic. Even though this side I applied them just with my finger, no brushes, I still did have some glitter fallout. Now that is to be expected because they're ultra metallic, but just to be forewarned, that is the only thing that I'm like, that even stands out to me. They've held up over the last few hours, and it has been a trying couple of hours over here in my world, and they've held up just fine through setting and taking off and doing this and doing that and having all kinds of crazy foundation issues over here. It held up and I love it. So if you are curious, I like this palette. I don't know if I reiterated that one quite enough, but I also wanted to tell you, On my, well, I mean, we can start with lips, but on the lips, I have the Tarte Lip Sculptor. This is in the shade Sangria. Now, this is from the Tarte Holiday Collection video. I can link it right up here. I did a whole video on the Tarte collection and everything they're really, not everything, but a bunch of stuff they're releasing for Christmas. And there is a lip sculptor set. And so on one end, you have this really beautiful deep toned lipstick, which I'm wearing, obviously. And then on the other, you have this gloss, which is such a sultry, sexy, like wet looking gloss. I love this combo, and I've been looking for an excuse to wear it and like a reason. And yet again, another perfect thing I love about this palette. I had a lighter toned pink on it and it looked good. Like, this is a palette you can literally wear with any type of combination that you have. If you want to go dark lip, dark eye, light lip, dark eye, like you can do so much because this palette, I feel like it really lets you build that intensity to where you're comfortable and then pair a lip with whatever you're comfortable. It's all about your comfort level, and I like that. So anyways, also on the face, I have the, I'm not going to get into like all the face products because again, video is coming, but the Park Ave Princess palette, I went ahead, I used Princess Cut on my little bit of, what is that, bronzer? I forgot what it was called, but I had this going on. And then I used my Hourglass blush palette right here, which I have been loving, obviously, you know if you watch my videos. And oh, for a highlight, I went in with my Amrezy highlight, which I haven't used in a hot minute, you guys. I missed my Amrezy highlight so freaking much. Like, oh my God. I love my Amrezy highlight, and I got up and went and pulled it because I'm like, I need the glow of Amrezy today. I love it so much. So anyways, that is it for this video, you guys. Let me know what you think down below. Do you love the Sultry palette? I'm honestly so excited to hear your thoughts because you guys so highly requested this freaking video with this freaking palette and freaking, and I'm excited to bring it to you. I love that you guys are confident enough in what I say in my videos to request things from me, and thank you for, just like as a side note, for always encouraging me to do a full review. I know that my videos can be longer. I know that they are very talky. I know that I have a lot to say, and at first I was really hesitant that I wouldn't find a group of people that would not only like it but appreciate it, because I do a video for you. I want you guys to know what you're buying when you buy it, and if there is anything I can look up or find for you that'll help make your purchase better for you, so you either spend money on what you love or don't spend it on something I think you're gonna hate. That's what I'm here for. And so I was really nervous that people would be like, oh, your reviews are too long, or oh, we don't like this, or oh, we don't like that. And to think that I have almost 5,000 subscribers is crazy, but 5,000 people that love and appreciate that part of me is just something I never was sure that I would have. So thank you guys so much for always being so encouraging and for letting me be me and do my long ass reviews and just, I don't know, be exactly as I am. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know all your thoughts and comments down below. And if you are relatively new or you're not subscribed, you should probably do that. I put up new videos Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. I know. It's a lot. You can also check with me on Instagram and Twitter. You can go and follow me on both of those. I'm the most active on those two places. I do also have a Snapchat and a Facebook. I'm not super active on those just because Twitter and Instagram tend to be like the main go-tos, but you will get like previews there, polls there. If I have a question or I want to know something, I go to you guys first. So definitely check all those out, subscribe, and yeah, just hang out and let me know what you think, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello. Okay, that's fine, I guess. The light's on. Hello, can you hear me? Mama, can you hear me? Right across the line. I don't know what song that was. It was not a real song. Old lady sweater. Check. Soft. Check, check. Loving life. Check, 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 check. Okay. It's a small world after all. It's a small world here. And then all the way to ultra metallic, which is like taking a shimmer and really amping up all of that crazy, beautiful, like oh my God, I did it again. What the fuck? Uh-oh, I can't find my glitter glue. Where is my glitter glue? Where is my glitter glue? Hello, hello. Where is my glitter glue? Hello, hello. Now for this whole inner portion right in here, I actually think I want to grab the shade. Okay. Now on this Pro 2E, wait, what is this? This is the furless. On this, no, whoop, there it is. Let me hear you say, whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Shaka laka, shaka laka, shaka woof. Shaka laka, shaka laka, shaka laka, woof.